Well, just an update. I was very, very wrong. Ended up with more raspberries. We had that cold snap, and all of a sudden, I have got raspberries galore. And we had just bought some from the store, and like some of them had rotted right away. But we're using those up and mixing them with these. Like this one I bypassed because it's really squishy. So on the inside, if you pull a wild raspberry and it's kind of squishy, and you'll see the very inside of it. This one doesn't have it, but sometimes they have a little liquid in there. They've already started fermenting, so that's when you don't want to pick them. But anyway, yeah, I just picked a giant zucchini. I have no squash. I just have flowers. The squash did not take this year. I didn't try mudbrookers. I'm gonna try planting earlier in the year and start the seeds downstairs. Get my growth lights up this year and this winter, and get my one safe space heater down there, because I want to grow my microgreens and stuff, and the catnip as well. Which reminds me, tomorrow I gotta harvest a metric butt ton of catnip and start drying that. That'll keep the cats happy for the winter. So yeah, that's what the plans are. I'm going back to work tonight. Hubby had a bunch of appointments today, and sorry, bugs. So we had an exciting night last night because somebody deliberately set a nearby house on fire. They were caught sitting on the porch with a gas can, and the fire had started on the porch and took the house down. I've yet to drive by and see if it's the one there was one that was up for sale, and I think that might be the one, but I'll find out. But other than that, not a whole lot going on. I was supposed to be at work yesterday, and moving all the furniture around in my art room, I felt just fine. Nothing hurt. But doggone it, Helton's saying that he's going to end up in traction if he cleans his house. And doggone it, I did all of that, and then I slept wrong. And my shoulder was a mess afterward. So, that's that kind of excuse that I just, like, wow, it's real, man. I'm going to end up in traction and in the hospital just for cleaning your house. It's a mind-blowing experience when that happens to you, there goes me being snarky. But, yeah, I already have neck problems to begin with, so let's see, how's this one? Looking in the camera, if I can see it. Can't really. Yeah, so that was the fun part. Ended up having to take lots of Tylenol and ibuprofen and just rest. And so I actually spent the day resting. Let's see if we can see this one. Zoom in. Ain't gonna zoom in. This one's full of liquid, so it fermented. So's that one. All right, that one is. You can tell by feeling after a while. Oh my God, I got so many raspberries, you guys. This is insane. I think that one's all right. That one's really squishy. Oh, it even fell off on its own. Yeah, so I'm back to work today, or tonight, after I get all this done. feel a lot better. But yeah, you know, that injuring yourself doing housework is a real thing, guys. And we must, that one was bad. I think next year, what I'm gonna do is, if you plant legumes, it'll restore the soil. So I'm having some issues with my tomatoes this year, besides the fact that the squirrels took off all the ties that I had holding the plants to the racks. Yeah, I was happy about that one. All my tomato plants have fallen over and they were all tied, all of them. And there's little chew marks on the stringers that I had used. I need to actually get some either baling twine or baling wire and use that. I used what I had handy. It didn't work. But I'm gonna move my tomato bed to closer to the back door here near the kitchen. And then I'm going to probably plant, like, maybe just get some alfalfa and use it on that bed just to replenish the soil a bit. And then if anything, I can take what I need to do is just let it go, let it grow and die and rot there, but I'm going to have to chop it up so that the following year I can work it into the soil. So I think I'm going to be down, holy cats, there's more. I'm going to be down one garden bed next year, but it'll be worth it. I'm starting to have calcium issues with one tomato plant. All of them ended up with this black smut growing on them, which is the soil doesn't have enough calcium. And I normally take eggshells and put it in there, but my compost wasn't ready, so I didn't put it down, and I put eggshells in the compost. But you know, when it's not ready, what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna have to compost that bed and put the alfalfa in it, I think, and just let that bed kind of go feral for a little while. There's more back here. I don't know if these are ready or not. The zucchini bed I'm going to expand. I'll do cucumbers and zucchinis on it. The zucchinis are doing really well. I picked a giant one again today. But that's where we're sitting with the garden this year. Wow, I got quite a bit. This was a tomato thing. I accidentally dropped all the small tomatoes on the floor and I gotta wash them. Yeah, so the asparagus right now is kind of going feral. I'm gonna have to weed this out and prune the asparagus back once the frost comes. Dad came out and mowed, but there's my tomato plants back there. I pulled 3 off of it today, but like I said, they're just not phenomenal. I did get 1 whole head of cabbage, but this one here never formed a head. I don't know why, but what people don't realize is that the cabbage leaves are quite edible. I stick them in them and dandelions, and the chives I picked last time I put in a very spicy ramen and used some pork in there kind of a real thick bacon and just boiled it down, and had thin sliced onions in there, and it worked out really, really well. The sweetness from the onions kind of countered the bitterness from the dandelions, and it just worked. Yeah, see, this is the one where I did harvest the head. Pardon me. It's not usable anymore. So yeah, surprisingly, the ugly zucchini's still growing. I gotta finish that bed next year and get squash in early, including Mudbrooker's heirloom squash. The seeds he sent me are like from plants that were started 70 years ago, and it was his grandfather's plants. So you're looking at the blueberries right there. Hopefully next year I'll find more blueberry plants. I want to fill this bed with blueberries. So that's where we are for gardening tonight here in Minnesota. The weather is lovely and there's no houses on fire. So you guys have a great night. Blessed be everyone. Take care.